Possum up the cemetery and rock 'em on the ground. Possum said you did it, huh? You better shake some simmer down.
When I first read this delightful book, which included a chapter on persimmons, I admit I was envious of people who live in the southern United States, who have access to the delicious fruits from these trees. How I wished I could find them in Massachusetts. Until things slowly changed. Now there are varieties that grow here. One of my friends has several trees which have adapted to our colder climate and are dependable fruit bearers. Persimmon trees are either pollinating males, whose flowers grow in small clusters, or fertile fruit bearers, whose flowers grow singly on the branches. Both types are necessary to produce fruit. In early spring, there's another part of this tree that's edible. Collect and dry new leaves to make a beverage. This is popular in Asian countries, especially in Korea. Since leaves tend to float to the top, place a teaspoonful of them in a tea ball or homemade tea bag. Pour almost boiling water over them and let steep for 10 minutes or longer. This pale yellow drink is very mild, not at all bitter. I use it to cook my morning cereal or as a liquid base for smoothies. If you get persimmon fruits at the right time, they're culinary ambrosia. But if you don't get them when they're absolutely ripe, they taste astringent and leave an unpleasant dry feeling in your mouth. Those on the left aren't ripe. The ones on the right are ready. There are several varieties available in my area. Their fruits come in all sizes, from small to large. These begin to mature in mid-September into October. I was surprised to find some in late August when windstorms blew them onto the ground. But usually it's best to wait until first frost to collect them. But because warmer weather now lasts longer, ripe fruits may be available long before any frost occurs. Normally fruits fall off the tree when they're ready. They become squishy and look awful. These goopy blobs splatter all over the place. But don't let their nasty looks deceive. Take it from me. These rotten-looking ones have a delectable, sweet, sweet pulp. Press fruits to see if they're soft. Then twist off the remnants of the 4-lobed calyxes, which are attached to the top of the fruits. If they look overripe and their pulp resembles a sticky orange jelly, they're good to eat. If you have a tree of your own, put an old clean sheet on the ground so fruits won't get dirt on them when they fall. Most fruits have up to 4 seeds, which can be spit out. Save these for later. What should you do if you find fruits, besides eating them right on the spot? First, extract the pulp to use in several ways. Each of my persimmons have several seeds, which can make this process tedious. Consider yourself lucky if you have seedless fruits like these. Gently wash the fruits with a sprayer to remove any dirt and other debris. Take a few at a time and press through a strainer to separate pulp from skins and seeds. Sometimes there's pulp on the bottom. This is messy. Save the skins to snack on, as some pulp still clings to them, and rinse off larger seeds for future use. Another way is to take a knife and separate the seeds from the pulp. Seeds are on one side, pulp on the other. This looks unappealing, but it tastes yummy. You may notice tiny little brown spots while processing. These are seeds which never ripened and are okay to eat since they're so small. Combine the pulp with Coosa dogwood and pawpaw pulps, which are ready at the same time. These mixtures add color and flavor to yogurt or ice cream. The pulp of black haw fruits is available as well. Just for fun, I combined the two of them to create this yin-yang symbol, which I used for a Halloween dessert. Use this pulp, plus its skins, as an instant jam. Fruit leather is always a possibility if you have a good amount. Or make fruity ice cubes from any extra pulp to use later in smoothies or cocktails. When I was lucky enough to get a bunch of fruit, I made a persimmon bread, which was moist and delicious. It didn't last long in our house. The list could go on, but frankly, I like to consume these fruits without any preparation. Just wash and eat. Skins too, if they're not gross looking. In China, these fruits symbolize peace, harmony, and luck. People dry hundreds of them for later. These are large compared to mine. I was pleased when a Chinese friend gave me these dried persimmons, so I didn't have to dry mine. She later gave me some others, which were super soft and almost melted in my mouth. They tasted like apricots. After I'd stored these for several weeks, I noticed a white powder on them. I wondered if this was a problem. I learned it wasn't mold. This powder appears when the fruit's natural sugars crystallize on their surface. Because these were so sweet, I ate only a small portion at a time. After eating the fruits, save their seeds. During the Civil War, Southern troops used them as a caffeine-free coffee substitute. Before making this drink, you'll notice that some pulp sticks to the seeds. To remove any traces of this, put seeds in a bowl of water. Let them soak for an hour or more until the pulp can be easily removed. Cover them to protect from fruit flies. Then rinse, wipe them off, and put aside. Keep rubbing to get all of the pulp. Seeds shrink a bit when they dry. Sometimes a few remnants remain, but these can be detached. Bake them in a 350-degree oven for a few minutes. Keep an eye on them so they won't burn. This smells like coffee. Cool and grind them. I was a bit nervous they might be too hard for my blender blades, but it wasn't a problem. I sifted this so I was left with a fine powder, but coarser grounds can also be used to make a brew. I added 1 tablespoon powder to an empty tea bag and tied it up so there wouldn't be any leakage. I covered this with 1 cup of almost boiling water and steeped it for 15 minutes or longer. Press down on the bag with a spoon so it doesn't float to the top. Eventually, it'll sink to the bottom. This light tan beverage has an earthy taste. Add cream and sweetener, and it's even better. I still haven't come upon persimmons in the wild like my southern friends are able to do, but I look forward to a time when suddenly I'll spot these orange beauties hanging from branches or on the ground in my area.
For you.